abandoning that any pretense of principle she had on that front altogether.
Backing down one bit.
We're going to get into the specific allegations, but let me start with this. Do you think you're being Kavanaugh'd right now?
What's going on, you guys? Today we have Emma Vigeland slamming Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly is wanting to pose as a fake feminist, and Emma Vigeland is exposing Megyn Kelly for the truth. They're playing a clip of Megyn's show, and yet it's as bad as it sounds. Let's get into it.
Pete Hegseth has still not, as of the recording of this, withdrawn from consideration for defense secretary. As a reminder, Pete Hegseth has now been accused, well, had been accused of really like a severe sexual assault. I would say rape. And there was a police report and he apparently, according to the police report, blocked the door, took her phone. She told a nurse that she didn't remember what happened, so there could have been a date rape drug involved.
This is a guy who at the Princeton Tory said that actually it's not rape if the person is unconscious.
Apparently he was the editor, not the author of that piece.
Oh, interesting. But, well, fair enough.
I mean, he still published it.
Yeah, same rapes.
Yeah. And like, he's the guy, he has these white nationalist coded tattoos on his body. His mother wrote a letter that got published in the New York Times because it was leaked, where she called him an abuser of women, and now apparently he's having his mother call these senators to lobby them so that they don't sink his nomination. But he's also just like wildly unqualified. He's a Fox and Friends weekend host. Go ahead.
No, I think all of this floundering, especially the having your mom call up the senators, this just makes it less likely that Trump keeps his. No, I mean, like, Trump does not like when people bring down the brand, and like this is debasing the Trump brand. Like, you know, not only that, but Trump does not like alcoholics. Trump does not.
That's
like people
true.
who are messy drunk.
I don't know if he would mind some of this though, because he's already got the Fox News cachet. You know what I mean?
No, he likes the rape part, and he likes that he looks like central casting, like he looks like a Hitler Youth or whatever.
The problem is that he criticized Trump and said he gets all of his military information from cable news for like 3 years in like the early Trump administration. So,
but he's still hanging on. He's still hanging on.
It's a matter of time. It has to be. I think based on all the information that came out in that Jane Mayer piece in the New Yorker, it just seems like he has a ton of skeletons in his closet that are just.
So right here, Emma Vigeland and her crew, they're roasting Peter Hegseth. I believe that he was on Megyn's show, just making the rounds, and he appeared on her show. And she decided to have him on, so she's just as guilty, as Peter Hegseth. But yeah, we have Emma Vigeland. She is calling out how this guy looks, perfect to play the part. But if we dive into a little bit of his history, he's, bringing down the ship. He is posing a threat to this perfect image, this image that Trump is pulling out as far as, just looking like a cool person. Having your mom call senators isn't necessarily Trump's alley. He's never been for that as far as images go. And yep, let's keep on watching.
Waiting to be revealed the longer this process goes on. And, Trump is just not a loyal guy. The longer this goes on, the more it debases Trump's brand. And God forbid this guy ever gets like sloppily drunk at Mar-a-Lago around Trump. Like, I think Trump has like a real problem with that. Like, he
does. He sees
severely traumatized by his brother.
His brother being dying of alcoholism, he had like disgust for him basically. And that's pretty well documented. But, Megyn Kelly is having Hegseth on as he's trying to save this nomination. And, Megyn Kelly left Fox News because she was being sexually harassed. But, now that she has this media career on SiriusXM, she's abandoned all of that. And here she is with we lost Binder. Here she is with somebody who has been accused credibly of sexual assault, abandoning that any pretense of principle she had on that front altogether.
Backing down one bit.
We're going to get into the specific allegations, but let me start with this. Do you think you're being Kavanaugh'd right now?
I had a member not 45 minutes ago look me in the eye in private, just he and I, and say, that's what they're trying to do to you. That's what they're trying to do to you. That's their playbook. Get ready for more. And they're going to make it up. just like they have so far. All anonymous, all innuendo, all rumor, nothing
not.
sourced, no
It's not
verification,
innuendo.
and they're just going to keep doing it.
Your mother was the source.
And the police report, like, this is not innuendo. You've had formal and familial conflicts over your behavior, you fucking creep.
That Jane Mayer piece too, I mean, this is not about his personal conduct and the rape allegations, but it included something that said that he chanted "kill all Muslims" when drunk at a bar.
Yeah, also Kavanaugh was a rapist, almost certainly, and it's the Democrats' fault for sleeping on that for so long until it was too late to do anything about it.
Yeah, what does it mean?
So right here we have Megyn Kelly, shamelessly grifting for Peter Hegseth, saying that, do you think that you got Brett Kavanaugh, like as far as the Kavanaugh, the false accusations, how that started to come about, and this guy is saying, of course, he just falls right into it. Her whole MO right here is just making this person look good. She wants to have this guy on her show so that she can look better, so she can look more closely aligned with Trump and everything. And she doesn't even understand who she's endorsing. This guy was called out by his own mother. Megyn Kelly she sees that Peter Hegseth, she had to see that he was called out by his own mother. Not really sure. Maybe she doesn't know, but Emma Vigeland is letting her know. Hopefully she sees this and understands what she's doing.
Getting Kavanaugh, like Christine
At least it
Blasey
sounds
Ford
different.
telling her therapist decades ago that she was raped by Kavanaugh, or the fact that she had, I think, writing in her journals that corroborated this. That was
And
a
his
real
that he
long
released.
play.
He released his sort of journal from the time and said, look, it doesn't shoot. And like, actually, a few of these correlate to maybe they could have.
Right.
But it was it's just pretend.
Also, I brought this up on my own stream, and I'll bring it up here at the risk of sounding conspiratorial, or at least incredibly lib pundit coded. But being an alcoholic of this type, as well as being like a serial philanderer with like tons of skeletons in your closet, it makes you very vulnerable to blackmail. It makes you very vulnerable to certain types of like espionage techniques, like honeypots, in order to get information. Like, these are things that people who sit on the Armed Services Committee are going to actually be taking into account. Like, not everybody is just like a shameless grifter trying to get like in Trump's good book. Some people are going to be like, well, if this guy is on like a diplomatic mission, or just at a bar in DC and gets like sloshed, like what stops Russia from sending in a pretty girl with like vodka shots to take all of his information? Or like, we know that he cheats on his wives habitually, like very likely that they will have blackmail material on him. These are just things that happen when you're at the top levels of national security.
That's a great point.
He seems very vulnerable.
That's a great point, but I do, like, from Trump's end, I think he's appointing rapists because of he's sending a message. This is we're in a reactionary period with Me Too and women's liberation, and that's what this candidacy is about. But it's also that I think he likes the idea.
So right here, one of the panelists on the majority report with Emma Vigeland, he's saying he's making a great point. He's making a point of Peter Hegseth. He's a liability. He's too much of a liability. If you're getting he says, if you're getting sloshed all the time, if he's out here being promiscuous with other women, it's a liability. It doesn't look good. You're not walking the path of virtue. You're not living a righteous lifestyle. You're very susceptible to getting misled, to sort of becoming, just the donkey of the day. You're doing too much. You're out here living foolishly. You're playing the fool. So he makes a great point of, he's just looking worse and worse as a person. It's not, if this was in your past and these things happened, and you may have grown, that's one thing. But if you are this type of person to where you're just living you're just living, not living vicariously, but living just an insane lifestyle, you're out here as a liability to the United States, really, especially if you're on the team. So that's it. If you guys have anything to input, put in the comments, and it's another day in the progressive way.